Hello there guys, welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be reviewing a pre-workout called Storm by BK Labs. It's their high stim offering, so how will it fare as we cover the usuals, the taste, the price, the label and the effects, and working out if it's your next pre-workout. And if you like our videos, please do give it a like. You know, if you're new here, hit the sub button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our uploads. Let's get into this one. And we are into that first segment, taste and mixability, and we've got the pleasure of trying orange popsicle flavour, which as you can see there is a nice tasty looking ice lolly, if that focuses, which I'm going to assume it's not going to because it never does. Also comes in sour apple and blue raspberry. They all sound quite nice. I probably would have gone for this one anyway if I was a consumer. So yeah, it looks very interesting in the glass. There are some bits settled at the bottom, but you see that in most pre-workouts, especially when we mix it in these glasses. It's very rare that one mixes perfectly. Normally just give it a little shake and continue to drink and it's absolutely fine. But obviously tried it before. I pretend I'm giving you my first impressions. Let's get into it. Really nice. Bit of a fizziness to it. Definitely a sweetness to it. Not really too sour at all. Definitely tastes like it says on the tin. There's not really any nasty backgrounds or chemicalness to it, no chalkiness to it. Let's give it another go. Yeah, I really like that. I genuinely do. It tastes very unique. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I can only assume the other flavours will be just as good. Generally, if a company has one good flavouring system in one flavour, you can assume that the other ones will be good. I can't imagine that a company would have like a really good tasting flavour and then other ones that are really horrible, unless you just don't like that specific flavour. It's very discretionary. I'm going off track. Let's get into price. So let's talk price. How much is this pre-workout going to set you back? Well, BK Labs were nice enough to sort us out with a discount code, so using RB20 will knock 20% straight off the price, bringing it down to £27.99 for 25 servings. And when you divide that up and do the math, it comes to £1.12 per serving, which, let me tell you, is very good, because on our consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre-workouts are from across the world, where a 5 out of 10 is considered to be bang average price, this comes in at a very nice 7.5 out of 10, so priced way better than average pre-workouts of today's calibre using that discount code. But what sort of pre-workout are we going to be getting for that? Is it going to be a lot better than average in terms of the effects? Let's get into the label first though. So what is this pre-workout giving us in its 14 gram serving amount? Well, let's get into it. First up, we've got citrulline malate. We don't know the ratio, so it could be 2 to 1, 1 to 1, who knows? But we're getting 6 grams, which is a decent amount, regardless of the ratio. It's enough to get things moving. It's going to help to bump up nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream, increasing blood flow and increasing pump. So it's a staple pump ingredient. We like to see it. Then we got next up beta-alanine at 3.2 grams, the dose we like to see. That's going to help with endurance when it builds up in your system, but I think why most people like it and why it's mostly in pre-workouts is because it gives that sense of urgency with that itchy, tingly sensation as the pre-workout kicks in. So we should hopefully get it with this one. Then we move down to L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid at a gram. Nice dose, typically see that amount. That's responsible for boosting your mood, increasing concentration, definitely works well with stimulants, which we'll come on to shortly. Next up, we've got alpha GPC, 50%, 600 milligrams, yielding 300 milligrams of choline. That's the dose we look for, very nice. So it's a choline donor. It's going to help with your focus, concentration, athletic performance, smashing the gym, and another nootropic there. So we've got caffeine anhydrous up next at 325 milligrams to be very precise, which is around about 3 cups of coffee worth of caffeine. So that's that main stimulant in any pre-workout that's going to wake you up and get you moving. It's the foundational stimulant we like to see in pre's, quite obviously. So pairing with that, we've got Kigelia africana at 200 milligrams. You can generally see this in UK pre-workouts. Obviously this is a UK one, so no surprise there. It's another stimulant. It has similar properties to caffeine in terms of it's going to get you amped up, focused, delete any tiredness from your brain. So yeah, always excited to see how these types of pre-workouts come together that have stimulants that are not typically seen. So then we move down to mucana which is 98% L-DOPA, 175 milligrams. This is another mood boosting, anti-stress, anti-anxiety type ingredient. So it's gonna keep you on the ball. It's gonna put a little rein on the stimulants to make sure you don't get a bit too carried away, you know, keep the jitters a little bit under control, keep you focused and happy. Then we've got Infinity, which is the registered form of dicaffeine malate, 100 milligrams, yielding 75 milligrams of caffeine, topping the total amount up to 400 milligrams. So now that is higher than an average pre-workout. I'd say the average amount is 300 to 350, 400 in this bad boy, total yield. So, as you guys probably know by now, dicaffeine malate is a slower release version of caffeine, so it's going to come in drip feed later into your training session to prevent any kind of cash crash, as that caffeine anhydrous starts to wean down. So always like to see that. Then we've got teocrine, 40%, 100 milligrams, which is again similar to caffeine in that it's responsible for keeping you energized, alert, focused, but it's not actually technically classed as a stimulant. But we always like to see it. Bolsters up the effects of caffeine, so we'll take it on board. Then we've got hordenine at 50 milligrams, which is an okay dose. You know, we've seen this go up to about 150 milligrams. So this is a more on a conservative side of dosing. It's a fat burner, so it's going to help to burn fat cells, energy. It's going to give you some energy, quite obviously, with that. And it has also been shown to help with your focus and mood elevation, believe it or not. Then we've got estrogen, which is a registered ingredient again, 50 milligrams, a dose we look for. It's a digestive aid, so it's going to help get all of these ingredients through you as quickly and efficiently as possible. Always like to see that in pre-workouts, and generally speaking, it increases the beta-alanine effect because it's going to help absorption of that ingredient and therefore more tingles, hopefully. Then we move down to vitamin B3 as 50 milligrams, not too much to speak of really, other than it's a B vitamin, so general health, going to help with energy production within the body. Yeah, you're not going to necessarily feel that as a standalone ingredient, but it's always nice to see vitamins thrown in with a pre-workout. You know, why wouldn't we take them? Then we wrap off with huperzine A, 200 micrograms, decent dose. That's going to help with your memory, focus, concentration. Pairing up with the previous nootropics that I've mentioned, and definitely going to tie in nicely with that caffeine. And that does wrap the label off, guys. So yeah, a really solid label, dosed very well. You're getting your pumps, focus, endurance, energy. What is there not to like? Is it going to be high stim? Let's get into the effects. Okay, let's talk effects of Storm pre-workout. In the several times myself and Aaron have used it. Now on the side of the tub, it is promising improved cognition, bigger pumps and increased energy. And it certainly provides those things on label, but how does it come together in the real world? The reason we buy these pre-workouts in the first place. How does it come together in the gym? So today was leg day, so obviously the biggest challenge for these pre-workouts are always the more intense slog type of days, like your big back days and leg days. So today was my third time using it. Like I say, Aaron's used it a couple of times as well. So what do we think of it? So on the front, it promises high stim pre-workout. That's going to be person dependent. You know, some people, 400 milligrams of caffeine, it's going to knock their socks off. If you've been around the pre-workout block, it's obviously not going to knock your socks off. Obviously, we've been around the pre-workout block a little bit. But yeah, it kicks in nicely. If I'm to cut straight to the chase, it feels like a strong daily driver. It's not a stim junkie pre. It's not a friendly daily driver. It's definitely on that upper end of what we'd consider to be a strong daily driver. So yes, I would say that energy actually is its strong point. It comes together very nicely. You feel energized the whole way through the training session. It lasts a good few hours. No crash, no jitters. No come down, you know, no appetite suppression. There's no negatives with it, which you might expect based on the label. It's a nice, healthy looking label. So we're not talking any nasty effects with this pre-workout. It's a very productive, just good pre-workout. You're just gonna have a good session on it. It's ticking boxes. So energy, I would say, is the best element of this pre-workout. Like I mentioned, very solid. Sitting behind that is the focus. You feel switched on, you feel a bit mood elevated, you feel productive. A to B to C, you know the drill. The weakest point would have to be the pumps. Obviously, you've not got a terrible amount in the label for pumps. You've got your citrulline, and you could maybe argue a couple of other little bits might indirectly help with pump, but I mean, they're calling it a high stim pre-workout, so they're not necessarily going fully down that pump route, even though it does claim pumps on the side. It says bigger pumps. Obviously, you're going to get bigger pumps taking it than if you didn't, so it's not, you know, it's not misleading you. It's just not giving you the biggest pumps in the world. compared to some other similar power pre-workouts. But it is hitting that energy and focus to a very, very decent degree.
Savage pumps in the gym and the bedroom. Wolf pump.
So honestly guys, I find it hard to fault this one. There's no negatives. It's priced very, very well, especially with that discount code. It's hitting every area you want, although in an ideal world, we'd like a bit more pump, a couple of extra ingredients and some more L-citrulline wouldn't go amiss. Obviously that would drive the price point up, so, you know, swings and roundabouts as they say. But as it is right now, I would say honestly, if you're in the market for a strong daily driver, I would say shortlist it. I'm so close to saying just go ahead and buy it, but honestly, I tell you what, if you're not fussed about pumps, go ahead and buy it. If you want pumps in your pre-workouts and you want something that's, you know, all above board, not sketchy, not illicit, then there are other ones that you could look at for around the similar price point where you will get more pumps in the product. So yeah, pumps is the only weak-ish standpoint of this pre-workout. So like I said, I would say shortlist it if you're in the market for something like this. Price well, tastes good, looks cool, feels good in the real world. Like I said, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. So yeah guys, I think that does cover everything. It's just a decent pre-workout. There's not much more to be said, to be honest with you. So yeah, if you are in the market for something like this, do go ahead and check it out. If you're not, check out some of our other videos. And obviously we just want to thank BK Labs for sending this down. A solid pre-workout. I believe they're a new company, so if they're coming right out of the gate with something this good, then I've got high hopes for their future products. Anyway guys, let us know if you've used it. What's your favourite pre-workout? What's your favourite daily driver? You know, all the usuals. What else do you want to see us review? Drop it down below. Stay stimmed.